It's Monday, which must mean it is another MUTV group chat ahead of another busy and important week for Manchester United. And the lads are here to talk us through it. We've got Ben, we've got Danny, we've got Wes, and we have Maisie. Boys, morning.
How are you?
Morning.
Morning, Stu.
All good. Let's start off by just getting through your reaction from last week's show. And remember, this is from the comments from our YouTube channel. If you want to get involved, and we encourage you to, even the abusive ones, particularly if they're towards the lads, do get involved and leave a comment below the line in our YouTube channel. Right, so here's a couple of them. This one, what a fantastic job Ollie's doing. This is from Truth Wins. I've supported United since I was 6. I'm 48 now. Finally, we've got a manager who's doing it the United way. Like Sir Alex, fight for each other, never give in. Always remember who you're playing for. In Ollie, I believe. This one, the discipline Ollie has started in training is showing in the performances. Alan says whoever is above City wins the league. Alan, I've got a horrible feeling. I've got a horrible feeling you might be spot on with that one. This one, Danny Webber is working from home or working from his car. Remember in this show last week, he was working from his car. But are you working from home today, Danny?
I'm working not from home, from the Big Brother diary room.
you look, actually, you are in the Big Brother diary. You are. This one says, I miss you, Brown. Full stop. I miss you, Wes Brown. There you go, Wes. You still remember, mate.
You said Brown.
Yeah, well, true. He misses you. And this one, Ben Thornley is just there to say scrutiny, and that's it. I think the way the show was edited last week, Ben, that was all you said in it, scrutiny.
That was it.
It was. It meant a lot. It meant a lot. And this one, oh, it's Ben Thornley. I remember as a kid seeing his name was one of United's upcoming players, an English lefty, which wasn't common in those days. He was quite talented. Shame injuries did him in, said Irfan. So there you go, Ben. That is, you're being damned with faint praise. You're quite talented. Must mean a lot to
you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he was quite talented. He was quite talented. And also, evidence in this show today, Maisie is a bit of a diver. Maisie, let's see the video.
Well, I went out last week, lads, and I didn't realise how slippy it was out there. And I've got the scars to prove it. But if you can have a little look at this. I think I played it. Yeah, there you go.
This is on the security camera. Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
Hey, but I have a quick look round. I finished my slide off. I have a quick look round just to check that nobody's actually seen me.
You'll have to do that.
And unfortunately, the neighbour.
Unfortunately, the neighbour's CCTV catches me again. Go.
A different angle.
I've got the scars as well. Oh, there's my bacon butties. Sorry. I took pictures of my bacon butties. But I do have the scars. There you go. Gash in the open. Nice gash on my knee. Can't beat it. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
But you're okay, mate. That's the main thing.
You're
okay. So there you go. But you're all right, mate. Yeah, it looked very icy there, mate. But you're okay. That's the main thing.
I tell you what, that black ice, it's lethal. Tell you, couldn't see anything.
I thought you went down very gracefully, Maisie.
I went down in instalments.
Like a direct debit.
Yeah. You were hardly touched, mate. You were hardly touched. You made too much of it, mate. You made too much of it. There you go.
So dead last 3 days.
Yes. All right, let's get to business then. First of all, I suppose, lads, since we last spoke, not the week we wanted. Sheffield United here at Old Trafford, and then, of course, Arsenal at the weekend. Wes, what did you make of it?
Yeah, true, Stu. But, you know, there's still a way to go to the end of the season. I think we've... you know, we do have to step it up a little bit now to continue what we're doing. But like you said before, you know, Ollie's got us into a position that I think we're all liking, the way we do.
Scrutiny.
Yeah, we just have to say scrutiny. So we've lost Wes for the time being. So, I'll sorry, Wes. We'll try and get that line back. So yeah. The thing about it is, Ben, I suppose the draw at Arsenal is perfectly fine if you've beaten Sheffield United here. That was the shocker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And with the decent chances that we did create against Arsenal, I still maintain we're seeing an Arsenal team that are, nowhere near as good as they were, sort of 15, 20 years ago. But they have had a little bit of a resurgence and an upturn in their form. So I don't suppose that a draw would have been a bad result. But when you look at the balance of the game and the fact that we had lost against Sheffield United, I think it was imperative that we went there and made a statement and went and won. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be the case, and that makes this week even more imperative now that we go and take 6 points really with obviously Liverpool and City getting back to, or City have been there for a while, but Liverpool after their blip have had 2 really, really good results in London, and they're in amongst it again. I suppose we have got Newcastle and Leeds to thank for their victories over the weekend that cements our place in second place. But we do need to make sure that we pick up points this week against both Southampton and Everton.
3 points behind City, who've got that extra game as well, Wes. I mean, one of the listeners or viewers who left a comment said anybody who finishes above City will win the league. Do you go with that?
I probably do. I think they've been the team over the last month that have really stepped up, regardless who they play. And we've just got to stay with him now. Obviously, the results against Sheffield United was probably the poor result. The Arsenal draw away, I'll take that one. It's always a tough game there, but we do need to step it up now. Bring back them energy levels, regardless who plays, and start getting some points back on the board.
Let's go to the Big Brother diary room, speak to Danny as well. Danny, I think 4 goals scored in the last 5 Premier League games. It's just dried up a little bit at the moment. Are you concerned about that?
I'd say so, because we need to get in a rhythm. We need to be scoring goals second half of the season. It's the business end of the season, and we need to be getting into a rhythm and scoring goals. And we've got enough people on the pitch who can chip in with goals. So, yeah, I think it needs addressing. I'm not sure. I'm obviously sure they're trying to address it, but Ollie's moved it around. He's had Cavani through the middle. He's had an array of different people playing across the front, and nobody's caught fire at this moment in time. If you think of the back end of last season when we had Mason, Martial, and obviously Marcus all scoring goals, with Bruno chipping in with goals as well, it made for an exciting watch. At the moment, we just need to get back into that rhythm. And, we've seen it with Liverpool. They didn't score for 3 or 4 games. And all of a sudden, you get that 1 or 2 and you can get into a rhythm. So it's not a million miles away. You just need to continue doing the right things.
I mean, it isn't just the strikers, lads, who have to score, but but you do look at that and we are struggling at the moment, 4 goals. What can we do about that, Maisie? Because like Danny mentioned there, Ollie's tried various different strikers in different positions, tried them all. But at the moment, it's just not going in.
I think you get rewarded, Stu, by how hard you work on a pitch. You've got to make your own luck at times, and you've got to be in positions to take the chances. Cavani, for me, always looks like scoring. I know he missed two decent chances against Arsenal, but you know what? He got in the right positions to create those chances. I look at Martial and I look at Martial's body language at times. And for me, for the talent he is, he should be doing so much better. He's only scored 5 Premier League goals this season, I think. Marcus, he needs to start hitting the back of the net. You've probably got 5 or 6 players. You've got Marcus, Martial, Pogba, Bruno, Cavani. They're your players who you rely on week in, week out to turn up week in, week out. If three of those 5 players don't play well, we struggle. So those 5 players are imperative that whenever they do play, they actually put a shift in. And it looks like they're putting a shift in. Bruno must be absolutely out on his legs because he's trying so much week in, week out. And, he's our leading goal scorer. I know a lot of probably penalties, but when you look at Martial and you look at Marcus and you look at Cavani, Pogba, they've got to do more by contributing. And I know what Danny says, it's at times when you need those players to step up. They're our main players. They're our goal getters. And they've all got to start turning up as they did at the beginning of the season when we were scoring goals and towards the end of last season as well.
Just one thing on that, Maisie. I saw something on Cavani's Instagram this morning, which I thought was really good. He said it was like all the chances that he's missed of late, and he just put the beautiful thing football taught me was to never give up. And I think that's important that for all for the strikers to keep getting in there. He's got in and missed 2 gilt-edged chances against Arsenal. But his mentality is, I'll be in there again and I'll get in there again. And I think that's what, everybody just needs to keep doing. Keep believing if it's not going your way. Just make sure you're doing the right things and the goals will naturally come.
But I look at Cavani off the ball, Danny. As a centre forward and as a forward as well, how much work he puts through. How much
unbelievable.
Incredible work. And he's 33-year-old. I'm not saying that that's a bad age, but, he's at his prime. And surely that must rub off on the other lads, looking at how much he works. And the only reason he gets in those positions because he works his socks off. I look at some of the body language on other players and you don't see it. I want to see that fight.
I think that's the importance of having players like him that bring the experience in, for the young lads to act, as you say, to look at and go, if he's doing it, then I've got to do it. I just hope the penny drops quickly with that.
Absolutely.
2 home games coming up. Southampton here on Tuesday, Everton at the weekend. Where's Southampton? I mean, they lost the last 3. I think they've won 1 out of 8. A lot of injuries, but they do give us problems. I mean, what are you expecting Tuesday night?
I expect us all, first of all, to do what Maisie said, really. I want our focus back and mentality. This is a little tough patch now, and it's a test for the lads to see if they can, come out of it and step back up, really. I think Southampton, I think they're a good team. Yes, they've not had the best results, to be fair. But this is one of them games where we don't want to be thinking about Southampton. We just want to be thinking about ourselves and getting back on track. And that's exactly what Maisie has been saying, working hard, running, get the basics right. Because we know eventually if we get the basics right, we'll get chances and we'll be able to score. But it'll be a tricky game. But we do really need to step up for it because we need the points.
Ben, I mean, home form, 4 wins, 2 draws and 4 defeats, which is such a surprise, really, because we're almost perfect away from home. Home form needs to improve, doesn't it, if we're going to finish where we want to finish this season? And that's got to start, I suppose, with back-to-back home wins, isn't it, this week?
Yeah, it really has. I think when you talk about our home form, the only game that really leaps out at you where United have been absolutely brilliant was the home game in the league. I'm talking about against Leeds, and we all know what Leeds are capable of, and that is going to prove to be a really, really good result going forward. But I think the 2 teams that we've got to face this week, certainly with Southampton, and actually with Everton as well, is not to give free kicks and set pieces away, corners, when they've got people of the quality of Ward-Prowse and they've got the height that they've got in there with that huge rear guard that they've got Southampton, and also Digne for Everton who puts crosses in for fun, and they've got obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin there who is proving to be one of the best aerial battlers in the division. You really have to make sure that you don't give needless set pieces away, because I think that's where United could come undone against both of those 2 sides.
Lads, as well, I mean, at the moment it's so busy and compacted, the fixture schedule, playing again on Tuesday, then again Saturday, then again on Tuesday, whatever. Is it, I mean, we're all lucky to be watching football or playing football. We're lucky in this current situation. But is it difficult for players sometimes to really get up for these games, like, say, Southampton at home or whatever, when it's just 3 days after Arsenal, then 3 days after that it was Liverpool or whatever? Is it actually hard to get? Even I find sometimes when I don't even know who we're playing next. It just seems to come so quickly. Is it difficult for players to really get up for these games? Maisie?
Shouldn't be, Stu. You're playing for Manchester United. That's first and foremost. You know, you're at such a wonderful club that you have to get up for these games. You have to. You know, it's your job to get up for it. And you've got to think of all the millions of fans around the world who watch it week in, week out, day in, day out. You know, you've got a duty that when you put that shirt on for Manchester United, hey, listen, it's only an hour and a half of your life a week, twice, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, whatever it is. Do you know what? If you can't run around a pitch with enthusiasm, with fight, to get your team over the line, then you shouldn't be at Man United. And yes, you miss the fans. We all miss a full stadium. But I think as well at times you can hide behind the fact that there is no fans there because you're not getting grief off the terraces. There's not the groans that you can hear if you're not putting a performance in. You can get away with it a little bit. But when you cross that white line Tuesday night, you've got to make sure that you're 100% bang on. And if you're not, you get found out quite easy. And it's imperative now that this is the nitty-gritty of the season now. These are the times when you have to grind out results. If we win the league, nobody will forget. You'll forget about Sheffield United at home. It's the other games now. That's a past. You can't change a past. The future is ours. And this is where we've got to take it.
Well said, Maisie. Well said. Well said. Very good. Were you ever in a situation there, Wes, where you thought, you're not really as up for this game as you would be if it was, I don't know, Liverpool or whatever?
You know what? It probably has been a couple of times, but then you look around the squad and you see the players, you look at the captain, maybe the senior players, and you can see they are. And your mindset completely changes and you understand why you're at the club. And that's to win stuff, that's to win games. And you do that by working hard. So I definitely agree with that. And, you know, the basics, they were always the basics in the dressing room when I was playing. And that, you know, if you started off doing that part, the talent would come out.
Stu, I think you touched on it before the Liverpool game in the FA Cup. Or somebody touched on it. The atmosphere in the dressing room before that you went out, was that just because it's against Liverpool, or was it because it's the 4th round of the FA Cup? That's the way your dressing room's got to be every game, and you've got to motivate each other. And if you don't, there's no point being at the club.
Well, we spoke about maybe our goals are just drying up a little bit. They're certainly not doing that at 23 level. We saw Amad Diallo scoring twice and Joe Hugill scoring 4 as Liverpool were hit for 6 at the weekend. Danny, you were commentating on that game. I mean, that's quite a start to Amad Diallo's United career, and brilliant for Hugill, who looks a really good player.
Yeah, firstly, Diallo was nice. That was my way of describing it. It was nice. He was nice to watch. Ghosted past people with ease. You know, with his size, he didn't rely on physicality, but always wanted the ball. You know, when he got his chance, I never thought he wasn't going to score, and he didn't disappoint. And then on the penalty as well, he showed he's got that little bit of, you know, where you border in confidence and arrogance, where he dinked it down the middle with the Panenka style to seal the win. So he obviously, you know, he got the first and the last. And then in between his goals, you got Hugill, who scored 4, and he's been really good since he's come in last year. I like him because he's an out-and-out striker. He doesn't try and be anything else. He knows what he is. He takes responsibility of scoring goals. And, you know, he scored goals in the 18s to start with, and he stepped up to the 23s, and he's scoring a lot as well. So he's more of your old-fashioned centre-forward, but I like that because, you know, he wants to be a number 9. There's none of this, I'll be an 11 or I'll be a 7 or a 10. I'm a 9. Give me the ball and I want to score goals. And, you know, the game was enjoyable to watch, and both those boys, as well as I think probably Hannibal was a standout as well. He was different class.
I think they're in action again Friday night, 23s, live on MUTV. Make sure you do watch it. It's always, it never lets you down, 23s. There's always goals, sometimes at either end, but well worth watching. Actually, Danny's well today. The Man United podcast, it's Mondays, the Man United podcast comes out. So if you haven't had enough of Maisie or Danny, then Danny Webber is the subject of the podcast. Now, usually on this programme, we play in a clip of it, but there's no point in playing in a clip because we can do it live with Danny. So, Danny, I want you to tell us the story about you being on loan at Port Vale and then coming back, didn't like it, and trying to hide from the boss.
Yeah. So I've just made my debut. I'm 18, and boss comes about a week later. I played in a resi game, and the boss came to see me in the gym, and he says, "Oh, you're going alone, son?" And I'm thinking, where am I going? And he says, "Oh, you're going to go to your Port Vale." Thought, right, okay. Semi-disappointed, but not, because you're thinking it's first team football, I go and play. So I get to Port Vale the following day, on the Friday this is now. Brian Orton greets me, and we go in and we train, and we run the stands. So I was thinking, he said, "Oh, we're doing the stands this morning." I said, "What's the stands?" It's basically where you run the whole stadium, up the stairs, across where you buy a burger, down and across and all the way round. Then we played with a yellow furry ball in a gym and did a bit of a five-a-side. So,
sorry, Danny, I was waiting for Maisie to make a comment. But I got to the top and I wouldn't have got back down again.
They were selling hot dogs in between as well. So, long story short, I had my first game, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'll go in and do really well. I played up front, played Tranmere, and I just got battered for the whole game. Got brought off, put me out my misery. Tuesday night, we went and played against Hull in the LDV Vans Trophy, and I got smashed into the boards by the fullback. He put me out wide to try and look after me, and I just got smashed. Kept getting up, trying to go at him again, and he just kept smashing me. Got dragged at half time. Long story short, the whole month I was rubbish. Didn't score a goal, barely, he just kept getting taken off, and I could see he was trying to find a place for me, but he wasn't quite working. So all I was thinking was, don't like it, get me back to United, get me back in my comfort zone. So the last day, I think it was Boxing Day game, and I've gone in, said, after the game, I didn't play at all, I was on the bench. And then I shook everyone's hand and said, see you later. And then Brian Horton catches me on the way out, and he said, "Oh, Danny, can I have a word?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Just spoken to Sir Alex, and we want you to stay. We've agreed that you can stay for another 2 months." And my heart sank. And he went, "Is that all right?" And I said, "No, it's not all right." He went, "No." And he was fuming and said, "Right, I'll tell Alec." So I was like, oh my God. Went back to United the next morning, sat looking at me. Canteen's really busy and people are around. And the boss comes in and I'm trying to keep my head down like this so he don't see me. And he calls me out and then comes over and just says, Danny, he says, "I've just had Brian on the phone. He said that we'd agreed for you to stay 2 months." And obviously everyone's gone quiet because the boss is in there and people are watching what I say. And I just said, "Oh, I think I can play higher than that, boss." And he clipped me around the head and just clapped me and just went, "You're right, son." And that was it. And I thought, what? Am I right? Am I wrong? Is that the right thing to say? And, fortunately it was, because he put me on loan again to Watford in the league above later on that season. But it was a time that I've probably learned the most, where I had my, wasn't all going so well, but I learned a lot. And I think the fact that I backed myself, the boss alluded to that later down the line, that you back yourself when it wasn't going well, that, we like that side of it. So, yeah, my first loan spell, they're not all pretty, they're not all great, but there's a lot of learning in them.
So you're not in the Port Vale Hall of Fame then?
I've tried, but it didn't happen, mate. Didn't happen.
Maisie, is it worth downloading a podcast then?
You what, mate?
Is it worth downloading a podcast then with Danny?
No, that's not a word anyway. You only asked him for a little clip. He's going to give you 10 minutes there. You don't need to listen. He's just done it all. That's all it was. No, it was a good podcast. Some great memories there. And I think one of the most poignant moments was when he mentioned Jimmy Davis, who sadly passed away. Yeah. Some great bits in it and some sad moments in it as well. But yeah, another good one.
Download the podcast from the usual places. It is out today. Before we go, lads, and we are optimists on this show, but we've got these 2 home games coming up this week. What is going to happen? Let's go around the lads. Maisie? 6
points, Stu. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed? Right, OK. Wes?
Yes, I'm the same. 6 points, I think. Ollie's going to have a good go at him, and we've got to step it up at home.
Yeah.
Danny?
I think when when the back's against the wall, we genuinely come out fighting. So yeah, you've got to go for 6 points. It's a must, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Southampton and Everton, Ben.
Yeah, I think after the week we just had, the lads will be wounded. They'll be disappointed. They'll realise that they've got to take the 6 points and keep that promotion, keep that championship challenge going. And they have to be winning the home games to do that. After the way that they performed in the first half of the season, it's their away form. If they can bring that home form up to scratch, then we have got a really, really good chance. So yeah, I'm with the boys. 6 points all the way.
Promotion? God, it hasn't been going that badly, has it, man?
I know, sorry, yeah, promotion, yeah.
He's got burgers on his mind. He's off to Port Vale now, Stu.
I am, yeah.
We can't wait for the third round draw next year. Get Port Vale in the FA Cup.
Good to see you all, guys. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Bez and Rowetta are going to be here next week for the show, which should be fun. Thanks for joining us, lads. See you again next week. Bye, everyone.
Take it easy, lads. See you in a bit.
Cheers, boys.
Take care. Cheers, guys.